Hello everyone, and welcome to the Animation Therapist channel. In this video, we will be talking about probable reasons why we forget things. While you might question why your memory seems poor, it's important to remember that forgetting is a natural part of life. People forget information quite rapidly. Research shows that about 56% of information is forgotten within an hour, 66% after a day, and 75% after 6 days. Forgetting is the loss or alteration of information that was previously stored in short-term or long-term memory. It can happen suddenly or gradually as older memories fade. While forgetting is typically normal, excessive or unusual forgetfulness may indicate a more serious issue. Memory is a complex and multifaceted cognitive process that includes encoding, storing, and retrieving information. It encompasses several types, each with distinct functions and involving various brain regions. Sensory memory is a short-term memory system that buffers stimuli received through the senses, such as sight, hearing, and touch. It retains sensory information long enough for the brain to process and interpret it. Sensory memory typically lasts from a fraction of a second to a few seconds, operates unconsciously, and has a large capacity to store all sensory input received at any moment. Examples include iconic memory, which is visual and lasts about 0.5 seconds, and echoic memory, which is auditory and lasts about 3 to 4 seconds. Short-term memory is a system that briefly stores a small amount of information, usually for about 20 to 30 seconds. It is essential for the immediate and conscious processing of this information. This type of memory has a limited capacity, typically holding around 7 items, give or take a couple. Through rehearsal or repetition, information can be kept in short-term memory for longer periods. It plays a crucial role in bridging sensory memory and long-term memory, allowing us to retain and work with information needed for tasks such as problem-solving, understanding, and planning. Long-term memory serves as a vast and almost limitless repository of knowledge and experiences, capable of storing an extensive range of information for days, months, or even a lifetime. This crucial memory system encompasses both explicit memories, which are conscious and reflective, like memories of personal events or learned facts, and implicit memories, which are unconscious and automatic, such as riding a bike or playing a musical instrument. Together, these types of memory enable us to recall past knowledge and learn new skills, fostering growth and development over time. The first reason that I'll share is the forgetting caused by decay. Have you ever felt like a piece of information has just vanished from your memory? Or maybe you know that it's there, but you just can't seem to find it. The inability to retrieve a memory is one of the most common causes of forgetting. Forgetting caused by decay refers to the gradual weakening or fading of a memory over time due to a lack of reinforcement or practice. It happens when the connections between neurons in the brain that encode the memory become weaker, eventually making it difficult or impossible to recall the information. This type of forgetting is common with memories that are not frequently accessed or rehearsed, such as a person's name or a phone number that you only use once or twice. One theory of memory called the decay theory suggests that memories fade away over time unless they are rehearsed or retrieved, like a store of milk that spoils if not consumed. One problem with this theory, however, is that research has demonstrated that even memories which have not been rehearsed or remembered are remarkably stable in long-term memory. While some memories gradually fade over time due to decay, the brain is also known to actively purge unused memories in a process known as active forgetting. The brain is designed to prioritize and store information that is frequently accessed or considered important, discarding the rest to make room for new memories. This phenomenon, dubbed the use it or lose it principle, suggests that the brain continuously sifts through the multitude of stored memories, purging those that are not reinforced or recalled regularly. The second reason I'll share is what is known as forgetting caused by interference. Forgetting caused by interference is a phenomenon in which the brain becomes confused when trying to retrieve information, resulting in two types of disruptions, proactive and retroactive interference. Proactive interference is when an old memory, perhaps a password or a phone number, obstructs the recall of a new, similar piece of information, causing frustration as you repeatedly input the wrong details. Retroactive interference occurs when a new memory, say, a recent email address, makes it difficult to remember an older one, resulting in you accidentally sending an important message to the wrong person. Sometimes the act of remembering something can lead to other things being forgotten. Research suggests that retrieving some information from memory can lead to retrieval-induced forgetting. This is particularly common when memory retrieval cues are very similar. While this causes forgetting, research also suggests that this type of forgetting can actually be adaptive. By forgetting one memory in favor of another, it reduces the chance of interference happening again in the future. Interference may hinder your ability to remember, but you can fight back. The most efficient strategy is to overlearn new information, practicing it repeatedly until it becomes so firmly embedded in your memory that it's less likely to be displaced by other memories. This is like planting a seed so deep in the soil that it grows strong roots and is not easily uprooted by weeds. By making a consistent effort to rehearse and reinforce new knowledge, you create a barrier against the effects of interference, ensuring that important information remains accessible to you. The third reason I have is what I call forgetting caused by failure to store information adequately. Forgetting caused by failure to store is a phenomenon where information never makes it to long-term memory because it was not processed deeply enough in the first place. Essentially, if you don't pay close attention to something or it doesn't grab your interest, you won't store it in long-term memory. Imagine a library. The librarian receives hundreds of books daily, but only the most interesting or well-known ones are added to the collection. The rest are discarded. Similarly, your brain doesn't keep every piece of information it encounters, it only stores those that catch its attention. Forgetting, in some cases, is not a failure of retrieval but rather a failure of encoding. This means that the information you're trying to remember never even made it to long-term memory, perhaps because you were distracted or disinterested when you encountered it. It's like trying to recall a conversation you overheard while you were busy doing something else. You never really processed it, so it wasn't stored in your memory. In such cases, the information might as well not exist as far as your brain is concerned. Memories are like stories told over and over again, they tend to get boiled down to their most essential parts. You might recall the main plot points of a book or movie, but the supporting details fade into the background. This pruning is actually a useful function of your memory, allowing you to remember the big picture without being bogged down by every small fact. In the same way that you don't need to remember every single item in a grocery store, your brain filters out extraneous details to prioritize what's important. To avoid the pitfalls of forgetting due to a failure to store information, adopt a proactive approach to learning. When encountering new material, immerse yourself in the experience, staying present and focused. Repetition is a powerful tool, so review the information multiple times, allowing your brain to build stronger neural connections. Associate new concepts with existing knowledge to create meaning, using memory-boosting techniques like acronyms and visualizations. Finally, structure and organize the information to make it easier for your brain to remember, and don't forget the power of sleep. A well-rested mind can absorb and retain new information much more effectively. The fourth reason why I think people forget easily is what I call motivated forgetting. Forgetting isn't always accidental. Sometimes, the mind acts like a skilled editor, censoring out the difficult parts of our life story. There are two main ways we can work to forget: suppression. This is a deliberate attempt to push memories out of our awareness. We might consciously choose not to think about a distressing event, or even distract ourselves when those thoughts start creeping in. It's like locking a memory away in a mental safe. Repression. This is a more unconscious process where memories are banished without our awareness. Imagine you did something embarrassing, like saying the wrong thing at a party. You might consciously choose not to dwell on the memory of the event because it makes you feel uncomfortable or ashamed. This is an example of motivated forgetting. When a memory is particularly distressing, the brain may try to repress it, preventing it from coming to conscious awareness. This is why you might struggle to remember a traumatic event or a mistake that made you feel ashamed. Your brain is protecting you from the emotional distress that remembering would bring. The fifth and the final reason I'll mention in this video is what I call forgetting triggered by excessive stress. Stress can be a sneaky saboteur when it comes to memory. Under periods of high stress, the brain can enter a state of overstimulation, leading to a phenomenon known as stress-induced amnesia. This is because stress causes an overproduction of the hormone cortisol, which can affect the hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for forming and storing memories. Stress also activates the fight or flight response, which diverts mental resources from memory-related areas of the brain to processes that are more immediately important for survival. Excessive stress can turn your memory into a sandcastle in a storm, threatening to wash away even your most important memories. When stress ramps up, your brain enters survival mode, prioritizing immediate threats over anything else. This can lead to forgetfulness, especially for information that's less crucial to survival. It's as if your brain is throwing out the less critical stuff to make room for the important stuff. The impact of stress on memory can be insidious. You might start to forget simple things like where you placed your keys or what you were supposed to buy at the store. Ensure you manage your stress wheel, so as to cut down on your chances of forgetting vital information. That will be all for this episode. I hope you found this insightful. Thanks for watching, and I believe you found this video educative and enlightening. Do well to subscribe to the Animation Therapist channel, and turn on the notification button. You can also like, share and comment on all our videos on the page. Thanks and cheers.